July 17th, 1944. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel sat in his headquarters outside Cannes, France. The legendary Desert Fox, the general who had never lost a battle, the man Hitler called Germany's finest commander. He was writing a letter, his final letter. 3 days earlier, George S. Patton had done something Rommel thought impossible. Patton's Third Army had destroyed the Panzer Lehr Division, Germany's most elite armored unit, in just 8 hours. This is what Rommel wrote, and why it changed everything. Before we understand what Rommel wrote, you need to understand who Rommel was. Erwin Rommel, Field Marshal, the Desert Fox, Germany's most celebrated general. From 1941 to 1943, he dominated North Africa. British forces couldn't stop him. American forces learned to fear him. Winston Churchill called him a military genius, even while fighting him. Rommel wrote the book on mobile warfare, literally. His tactics manual was required reading at West Point, at Sandhurst, at every military academy in the world, including American academies. When Germany invaded France in 1940, Rommel's 7th Panzer Division moved so fast, so unpredictably, the French called them the Ghost Division. They appeared where they shouldn't be, disappeared before counterattacks arrived. Rommel pioneered Blitzkrieg, lightning war. By 1944, Rommel commanded German forces in France. His job? Stop the Allied invasion. He had 60 divisions, the Atlantic Wall, millions of mines, concrete fortifications, artillery positions, tank reserves. And he had the Panzer Lehr Division. The Panzer Lehr Division was not a normal unit. Lehr means demonstration, teaching. This division was created from Germany's best tank instructors, the men who trained other panzer units. Every soldier was a veteran. Every officer had combat experience. Every tank commander had destroyed at least 5 enemy tanks, 183 tanks, 2,000 vehicles, 15,000 men, all elite, all experienced, all loyal to Rommel. British intelligence called them the most dangerous division in the German army. American intelligence agreed. Eisenhower's staff estimated it would take 2 full American divisions to defeat Panzer Lehr, and it would take weeks. Rommel stationed them 30 miles south of the Normandy beaches, hidden in forests, camouflaged, waiting. When the Allies broke out from Normandy, Panzer Lehr would smash them back into the sea. That was the plan. July 24th, 1944. American forces launched Operation Cobra, the breakout from Normandy. Bradley's plan was methodical, careful. Bomb German positions, advance slowly, consolidate, repeat. It was working. Slowly. German lines were bending, but not breaking. Then Patton arrived, July 28th. Patton took command of the newly formed Third Army. His orders were simple: exploit the breakthrough, push south, capture territory. Patton had different plans. He didn't want territory. He wanted Rommel's reserves. He wanted the Panzer Lehr Division, and he wanted them destroyed. Patton studied the map. He knew where Panzer Lehr was positioned, knew their strength, knew their commander. A general named Fritz Bayerlein, one of Rommel's most trusted officers. Patton told his staff, "I'm going to make Bayerlein think I'm doing one thing, then I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to do it so fast he won't know what hit him." July 30th, morning. Patton ordered his 4th Armored Division to advance south. directly toward where Panzer Lehr was waiting. American tanks moved in formation, predictable, visible, exactly what German reconnaissance expected. Fritz Bayerlein watched from his command post. He smiled. The Americans were attacking head-on, into prepared positions, into kill zones. This would be a slaughter. He positioned his tanks, his anti-tank guns, his artillery, everything aimed at the American advance, waiting. But something was wrong. German scouts reported more American movement. To the west, Patton's 6th Armored Division was moving around Panzer Lehr's flank. Bayerlein shifted reserves, covered the flank, still manageable. Then more reports. American infantry to the east. Bayerlein divided his forces again, spread his line. He was being stretched, thin. July 30th, 1400 hours, 2 p.m. American artillery opened fire, not on Panzer Lehr's positions, behind them, cutting off their retreat routes, destroying bridges, blocking roads. Bayerlein realized the truth. The frontal attack was a feint. The flanking movements were diversions. Patton had surrounded him. And then the real attack began. American tanks appeared from 3 directions simultaneously, not attacking the fortified positions, bypassing them, going around, cutting through supply lines, hitting command posts, destroying communications. Bayerlein tried to coordinate a defense, but his radio network was down. American aircraft had destroyed his antennas. His messengers couldn't get through. American tanks were everywhere. Panzer Lehr Division, the elite, the demonstration unit, the best Germany had, was falling apart. 1400 hours, 2 p.m. The attack began. 1500 hours, 3 p.m. Panzer Lehr's supply depot was destroyed, burning. No fuel, no ammunition, no spare parts. 1600 hours, 4 p.m. Bayerlein's headquarters was overrun. He escaped with his radio operator, fled south, tried to rally his forces. 1700 hours, 5 p.m. Half of Panzer Lehr's tanks were destroyed. The other half were out of fuel, abandoned, crews retreating on foot. 1800 hours, 6 p.m. American forces captured 1,200 German soldiers, including most of Panzer Lehr's officers. 1900 hours, 7 p.m. Fritz Bayerlein sent a message to Rommel. Panzer Lehr Division is destroyed. Repeat, destroyed. 2200 hours, 10 p.m. The battle was over. In 8 hours, Patton had annihilated Germany's best armored division. The unit that was supposed to stop the American breakout. The unit Rommel depended on. Gone. July 31st, morning. Rommel received Bayerlein's report. He read it once, read it again, called Bayerlein on the radio, asked for confirmation. Bayerlein confirmed. Panzer Lehr Division no longer existed as a fighting force. 70% casualties, 90% equipment lost. The survivors were scattered across 50 miles of French countryside. Rommel asked one question. Who did this? Bayerlein answered, Patton. Rommel hung up, walked outside, stared at the map of France spread across his operations table. His chief of staff later testified at Nuremberg. I had never seen the field marshal look like that. Defeated, exhausted, hopeless. Rommel spent the rest of the day analyzing what happened, how Patton had done it, the feints, the flanking maneuvers, the speed, the aggression, the simultaneous attacks from multiple directions. It was classic Rommel, except faster, more aggressive, more ruthless. Patton had used Rommel's own tactics and improved them. July 17th. Wait, I said July 31st, but Rommel's letter was dated July 17th, 2 weeks before Panzer Lehr was destroyed. How is that possible? Because Rommel saw it coming. On July 17th, Rommel wrote a letter to Hitler, a letter that historians call Rommel's final assessment. In it, Rommel warned that Germany could not win in France, that American forces, specifically Patton, were too strong, too fast, too well supplied. He wrote, and I quote, "The enemy's overwhelming superiority in aircraft, tanks, and artillery makes it impossible to hold our current positions. Our losses are catastrophic. Our reserves are exhausted. The American commander called Patton is executing mobile operations at a tempo we cannot match." But that wasn't the final letter. On July 17th, Rommel was driving back from the front lines. An Allied fighter spotted his car, strafed it. Rommel suffered a fractured skull, 3 broken ribs, internal bleeding. He was rushed to a hospital, barely survived. While recovering, Rommel wrote another letter, this one to his wife, Lucy. It was never meant to be public, but it was discovered after the war, in his personal papers. This is what Rommel wrote. "Dearest Lucy, I write this knowing I may not see you again. The doctors say I will recover, but I know the truth. Germany has lost this war, and I have lost my last battle. 2 weeks ago, I warned the High Command about the American General Patton. I told them he was dangerous, that he fought differently than other Allied commanders, that his speed and aggression were beyond anything I had seen. They ignored me. Yesterday, I received word that Patton destroyed Panzer Lehr Division in 8 hours. 8 hours, Lucy. The division I spent 2 years building, the finest panzer unit in the German army, gone in 8 hours. I studied Patton's tactics. I recognize them. They are my tactics, the tactics I used in Africa, in France, but faster, more decisive, more brutal. I once wrote that the key to modern warfare is speed, that the commander who moves fastest wins. Patton has proven me right, and proven me obsolete. When I fought Montgomery, I could predict him. He was cautious, methodical, slow. I could outmaneuver him. But Patton does not follow the rules I know. He attacks where he should defend. He advances when he should consolidate. He takes risks that should be catastrophic. And somehow, they work. I am told that American officers study my book on tank warfare, that they learn my methods at their academies. Now I see the result. They took what I taught and made it better. Lucy, I have fought on 3 continents, against British, French, American, and Russian armies. I have won battles I should have lost. I have been called a genius, a legend, the Desert Fox. But I have met my match. His name is George Patton, and he is what I was, 20 years ago. Faster, younger, more brutal. If Germany had 10 generals like Patton, we would have won this war in 1940. If America has 10 generals like Patton, this war will be over by Christmas. The future of warfare is not tanks, not aircraft, not artillery. The future of warfare is speed. Speed of decision, speed of movement, speed of action. Patton understands this, better than any commander alive, including me. Take care of our son. Tell him his father fought with honor, even if his father lost. Your Erwin. Rommel never sent that letter. It was found in his desk after his death, 3 months later. October 1944, Hitler forced Rommel to commit suicide. The official story was that Rommel died from his injuries. The truth was that Rommel was implicated in the plot to assassinate Hitler. He was given a choice: suicide and a state funeral, or trial and execution. Rommel chose suicide to protect his family. But before he died, Rommel told his son, "Tell the Americans, tell Patton, he won, fair and square." Those words reached Patton after the war. Patton never spoke about them publicly, but his chief of staff wrote that Patton kept a photograph of Rommel in his office with a handwritten note: "The greatest adversary I never met in person." What Rommel wrote in his final letter matters, not because of personal drama, not because of rivalry. It matters because Rommel understood something most people don't. War is not about bravery, not about patriotism, not about ideology. War is about evolution. The side that evolves faster wins. Rommel evolved warfare in 1940. His blitzkrieg tactics were revolutionary, unstoppable. By 1944, Patton had evolved beyond blitzkrieg, beyond Rommel's methods. Rommel admitted it, in writing, to his wife, the one person he trusted with the truth. He lost, not because he was a bad general, but because Patton was better. That takes courage to admit, the kind of courage that doesn't come from battles. It comes from self-awareness. Today, military historians debate: who was better, Rommel or Patton? Most say we'll never know. They never faced each other directly. But Rommel knew. He wrote it down. Patton was better. If you want more stories like this, stories about what really happened behind the scenes in World War II, subscribe. New video tomorrow. Next video, what Churchill said when Patton captured 12 cities in 72 hours without losing a single tank. Thanks for watching.